Okay, this is a video about possible cheating by this user called Space C0R3. He's just shot through smoke there, immediately targeting the target tank. Instant aiming. So he's probably using what you call an Aimbot, which is a piece of software that interprets the information that War Thunder client gets from the server. It automatically aims you at the target. He's probably using other cheats as well. Okay, but there again you saw how quickly he aimed. Now that might be just good aiming, but he does this a lot. And sometimes it's almost impossible how quickly he aims. Look here, it's as though he can see the label when he aims and shoots straight away. Now this is a replay of a realistic battle. In realistic battles, you don't see the labels, you only see the labels in the replay. So in real life, you're not supposed to see the labels. Now it automatically aims at the center of the vehicle. I think the aimbot targets the center of the target vehicle. Now he's looking on the right because he can probably see a label through the trees. You see he's targeting the label there and he shoots immediately. But the target vehicle is behind a hill, so he's actually shooting into the ground, although he's aiming at the center of the vehicle through the hill. So now I'm actually in that vehicle that he's shooting at, and I can't see him because it's through the bushes. He can't see me either. Now here he can see just a bit of me, but notice how when he goes into gunner view, I'm in the bushes, but he still aims through the bushes immediately at the center of my vehicle. Now he's moving around, and again, after moving around, he can straight away aim at me, although he cannot see me the whole time. So it's the aimbot aiming for him. Keeps his gun pointed straight at my vehicle. Yeah, I saw him, so I took a shot, but I just glanced off the top of his tracks over there. You can see he's moving and he's tracking me while he's moving, and he cannot see me through the bushes. Now I'm moving. You can see I'm moving in the replay because my label is moving, but in realistic battle you're not supposed to be able to see the label. And now look, I'm moving and he's still tracking me behind the bushes. And he keeps doing this, and I take a pot shot at the direction that I saw his gun smoke at. But of course I miss because I can't see him. But he can see me and he can auto aim. At least he can see my label and can auto aim using the aimbot cheat. And another player finishes me off there. So he didn't get the kill, but he's probably going to assist on that. Okay, this is another game, Carpathians, Realistic Battle. And again, watch how he automatically aims at the distant enemy players behind those rocks. They're right at just coming out of their spawn the other side of the map. See, he's shooting over them because the aimbot can target them. You notice there's a smoke screen now, and he can't possibly have seen, the tanks in the smoke screen. If you look at the blue label on the right, the Panzer 38, it's moving around inside the smoke. It's moving behind cover inside the smoke, and he can't see that, but he can see the label, and he can auto aim at it. So he machine guns at it, he shoots at it, and then he machine guns at it. He doesn't hit it because it's behind some kind of structure there, behind a hill. And now the smoke clears, he manually aims. See, the auto aim aims at the center of the vehicle, but he manually corrects it to aim at the exposed turret. So the auto aim will aim at the center of the vehicle that is behind that berm there, but he then manually corrects it to aim at the turret. Then auto aim at the center and then manually correct. The aimbot is doing the auto aiming. But he's so tunnel vision on that he doesn't notice there's also tanks up on the hill until it's too late. Okay, now another Eastern Europe realistic battle. Okay, now look at this. Okay, automatically he aims at the enemy vehicles behind the houses. And then when he zooms out he sees that Puma. And this vehicle has a slower turret traverse. So the auto aim is not as quick, because it also depends on the turret traverse, I guess. But still he manages to finish that one off straight away. Okay, that may not be a very obvious use of the auto aim, but keep watching. Okay, it's as though he can see the labels. Okay, this is realistic battle, you shouldn't be able to see the labels, but look at this. You can see that there's a tank over there, so he shoots at it to test whether he can reach it with his gun. He uses machine gun to check whether it's got a clear line of fire, and now he can see the tank. He aims at the center of the tank, that's what the aimbot does, so he hits the gun. Again, straight at the center of the tank. Okay, let's skip forward a bit, and now it's as though you can see the labels of the enemy tanks on the hill on the right. Okay, look at that, that tank is so far away, it's behind a house, behind some trees. He can't see it, but he aims at it using the aimbot. He fires and he hits it in the middle. That's humanly impossible, that's cheating using an aimbot. Let's skip forward now, it's as though he can see the labels of the two whirlwinds behind the building. So he sets up an ambush to ambush them as they come around the corner here. You can see that they're coming, and so he aims at the corner. It was moving, so he didn't hit the center, he hit the back of that one. Now he auto aims again. Okay, now he switches to the other one. There's so much smoke, but he's using the auto aim to aim at it, but it's behind the dead body of the whirlwind, so he can't hit the Oswing. Okay, his turret ring is jammed. His horizontal turret traverse is jammed, so I guess he has to repair or something. But eventually the Oswing does finish him off, as you will see shortly. So when your turret ring is jammed, the aimbot isn't that useful. Okay, so the player manages to kill him, and then he respawns as this player. Now in the plane he also uses the cheats. Okay, in realistic battles you can't see the labels of the enemy players. You can see the chevrons that pop up when other players spot them. But even with the chevron popping up, normally a real human pilot would have to scan the ground around the chevron, because the chevron doesn't show the exact location of the spotted vehicle. But watch what happens once he decides to go for that ground target. Okay, look at the mouse, look how it moves. Okay, eventually it's going to lock it onto that ground target there. Okay, from so far away you shouldn't be able to see it. Okay, maybe he might just see it. Okay, it's locked onto this one. Look, see, it automatically locks onto it. Okay, now he loops back around again, and he's going to make a... Okay, that tank he shot at got killed, so he's going to make a pass on the last remaining enemy tank. He shouldn't be able to see it, it's behind buildings, but he shoots it through the buildings. I mean, a real human pilot would not be able to see that through the buildings. This is realistic battle, not arcade mode where you might be able to see labels. Watch this bit now. He loops around. And watch how he automatically tracks straight onto it. You watch the mouse cursor. See, that's the aimbot trying to aim him up, and he manages to shoot it. So with the aimbot, you become very good as a plane shooting ground vehicles. You also become very good as a ground vehicle shooting planes, which you will see in some of the other replays. Okay, now this one is in Japan, and it's coming up on the central temple with the A point. Auto aim while moving, and he manages to shoot the tank in the middle. Using the aimbot, you can even fire while moving. Okay, he uses the aimbot, fires at the center of that tank. Okay, he's looking around because he can probably see the labels through the buildings. He may have seen that Puma going off to the right, but he can also see it through that roof and through those trees. You can see the label because he's got some kind of cheat that allows him to either see labels or to see the outline of the vehicle or something like that. I'm not sure what exactly he sees, but obviously he can somehow see that Puma behind that roof, and he's going to auto aim at it using the aimbot. Look at this. Aims at the center, shoots it without seeing it through that building, and shoots it right in the center. And again, he's auto aiming at it through the building, so he can't see it. You can see a little bit of it there, but he aims at the center and finishes it off. Shooting while moving. Either is I don't know. I mean, most players can't shoot that accurately while they're moving. So I suspect he's using the aimbot, even though it's such close range. You're automatically, instantly aiming at the center of the vehicle.
Le canon est chargé.
Now there's some enemy vehicles coming up from their spawns. They probably respawn or something, and he can probably see their labels, or he can somehow see them coming, but he decides to shoot at the plane. Now the aimbot, it looks as though the aimbot also lets you target planes, but he doesn't have the gun elevation to get it in that instance. Later on he does, I think, shoot down one or two planes, and it's probably using the help of the aimbot. So he decides to get a higher vantage point to shoot at the vehicles. Oh, he sees an enemy vehicle there. He aims and shoots it straight away. Also aimed at a vehicle behind a hill there, and he shot at it without even looking in its direction, but it was behind a hill. Now it's as though he can see the vehicles coming up the road from their spawn, as we can see on the minimap in the replay. Of course, in the realistic battle you wouldn't be able to see all these icons on the minimap, nor will you see the labels. But in the replay you can see all this. This is a server replay. See, he auto aims and uses his machine gun to test and see whether he's got a line of fire on that label. Nice auto aiming on that one, and he manages to shoot one of the crew in the stern panzer. Okay, this is probably manually aiming, because on the start you have to aim to the right of the gun, not in the center. He has decided to show another replay now. Fields of Normandy, and he's coming up to the C point. Okay, this one is where you see a lot of very blatant auto-aiming using the aimbot, where he aims at vehicles behind houses and through bushes and trees that you cannot see. Now he can somehow see there's a vehicle behind that house. I'm not sure exactly how the cheat works, but it's as though he can see through the building and through the bushes and trees. See, you can see there's something there. Okay, he can see the smoke, but look how he auto-aims at it. He can even follow it while it's moving behind the smoke and behind the building. Okay, you can see that. Okay, that is possible to do without the aimbot. Granted, but it's so he decides to ignore the Valentine and shoot at something coming through the bushes here that he cannot see. Okay, but you can see the label or something, and he shoots the Crusader straight in the middle. He's glancing around at the labels, seeing whether he can see them. You can see there's a label there, although he can't see the vehicle. So he auto aims at it and he tests with his machine gun to see if he can got a clear line of fire, and he shoots and he hits it in the middle, although he can't see it. See, that's what the aimbot cheat can do for you. Doing the same thing again, testing with the machine gun. See, there's a clear line of fire, but it's behind a rock or something. So he keeps doing this, he keeps testing. See, he's following it using the aimbot, aiming at it. But the aimbot will aim at it even if it's behind a rock or behind some kind of obstacle. So he uses the machine gun to test whether it's got a line of fire, and when he does, he shoots it. Now look at this, he's looking through the building. It's as though he's looking at the labels, which we can only see in the replay, or if you're using some kind of cheat. It looks as though he's looking at the labels, because you can't actually physically see any tanks through there. It's auto-aiming. Fired while moving and just glanced at the top of that tank.
Chargez!
He's looking behind because he can probably see a label or something behind on the map, or perhaps I don't actually know how the cheat works, whether you can see it on the map or whether you can see the label by looking in that direction. Not sure what he's aiming at now. Then he's looking behind at that enemy vehicle that's too far away to see. Decides to go for this Valentine again. He auto aims at it, but it's behind a house. He shoots at it anyway. He's trying to shoot through the house at the label or at the auto aim point. Now you can see there's an enemy tank moving there. So he decides to shoot at it through the bushes. He tracks it and shoots it in the middle, through the bushes without seeing it. Watch this. You can see the smoke, but he auto aims, fires through his own gun smoke, and hits it in the middle again after moving.
Chargez!
these two tanks are very well armored,
Le
so
secteur est solide.
they have difficulty penetrating each other. I think that's a Matilda if I'm not wrong. Oh, it's a Valentine. But he auto aims at it through the bush and shoots it in the middle. Watch this. You can't see it, it's in the bush. He auto aims right in the middle. Okay, now he's trying to shoot down planes, I
Le
think.
canon est chargé.
He's auto aiming at the plane.
Il est touché.
I'm not sure if the aimbot actually tracks the arcade aim marker for the plane, which of course is not visible in realistic battles. But you know the aiming assist marker that you have in arcade? I'm not sure whether the aimbot is able to track that lead indicator. That's what I mean. It's able to track the lead indicator that isn't visible in realistic battles, but it's visible in arcade. So it's as though the aimbot changes this from RB into arcade battles. Yes. Get some hits on the plane, but it flies off. So close, there's no need to use the cheat.
Chargé.
It's auto aims through the tree. I think it auto aims through the tree, through the smoke, through the building as well.
Prêt.
As though he can see through the building. In the replay we can see the labels, but in arcade, in a realistic battle you can't see the labels because this is not arcade. So he's behaving as though he can see through the buildings and see how that enemy vehicle is moving. So he's positioning himself to get it as it comes around the building, and he's auto aiming on it, but the game ends before he can shoot it. So this is how you report a suspected cheater. You can put the username in the replays dialog and find battle in which they notice them cheating. And when you click on the replay, the server replay for that battle, Fields of Normandy at that time, yes. Beside the name there's an exclamation mark. You click on it,
and you can report them for restricted modification, which means cheats. So you type why you think that they're cheating. Of course, not every case of really good shooting is due to cheats, but this is quite blatant and quite obvious. I mean, who can track vehicles through buildings and through bushes, right? So you explain why you think the person is cheating, and below that you can also put in the approximate time that the cheat happened, or that you noticed the cheat. Put in 4 digits, and then you click on complaint, and it records your complaint. Now I don't know whether they do anything about it, but this is something you could do.